Hair can be one of the most time-consuming things when drawing characters, and over the course of these years of learning and working on comics, I found out a way to make it much faster and easier for myself to draw hair. And today I'm going to show you how I draw the hair for my characters. But before we start drawing, it's important to understand the basics like the hairline, the proportions, simplifying the strands and the type of hair. First thing to know is the hairline and how it looks in each single view. You will want to know this just so you understand where to start the hair. Here's a little template so it is much easier to explain it. Another thing to keep in mind is that the hair grows in groups of strands, not as an individual hair, and it should be following the shape of the head. But of course, depending on the type of hair, it could have more volume or less. When it comes to drawing the strands of the hair, I will generally use a triangular shape for almost everything, including the negative spaces. This is especially helpful when drawing wavy hair. This way helps to make them much more interesting and dynamic. Something to keep in mind when making the forms of the strands is to apply always the big, medium and small proportions. This way it will look much more interesting in the forms and it will avoid ending with a boring pattern, making them much more appealing. Another important thing is to always know where the top line is, so you can follow the hair from there. Generally it's on the top right, left or in the middle. Now whenever I'm drawing hair, I like to start from the outline or silhouette of the hairstyle. This way it's much easier to see if the entire proportions of the hair actually works and follows the head volume. Besides, this way it's much easier to decide how it will look with a straight, wavy or curly hair, which leads me to the next point. When it comes to different types of hair, I try to keep in mind how the outline goes for each one. For the straight hair, just like his name, is almost straight. I will still overlap a few strands so it doesn't look too flat. For curly hair, there will be more bumps into the outline, and for wavy hair, it's like drawing straight hair but with a bit more accentuated curves. Here I will overlap more the strands of hair, making them much more notorious. Now that we have some of the basics and what to keep in mind when drawing the hair, we can finally start with the first example. For this first example, I'm going to draw a hairstyle with a ponytail. We're going to start, as we said before, with the entire silhouette of the hair. Since the hair is a bit wavy, I'm going to start adding some bumps into the outline of the hair. Now, you will notice that almost always when I'm drawing the strands of the hair, I use a lot the big, medium and small proportions. The big form most of the time will start from the top, and the lower it gets from the hairline, I will start to make them smaller. Then when drawing the strands of the hair, you can also just throw lines in zigzag to make it much easier to simulate that there are more strands around, and I will always try to not complete the entire line the closer it gets to the hairline. This way helps to bring some space and let the drawing breathe, otherwise it can be too overwhelming to have too much detail and can make the hair look weird. For the second example, I will be drawing a dark short hairstyle. As before, I will work first on the silhouette of the hairstyle. I'm drawing this without an undersketch, but if you don't feel comfortable drawing like this, you can draw an underline sketch first to have a guide. The hairstyle is going to be almost a straight type of hair and not too wavy, so I'm not going to add too much bumps into the outline. Now for this, since the hair is darker, I won't be drawing the strands of the hair first, and I will draw this in a different way to avoid wasting time in details that will be undershadowed. Once I got the entire outline done, I will paint everything in black on another layer, and then I will lower a bit the opacity and start using the lasso tool to carve the light of the hair. In this case, since the light is coming from the top right, I will erase more near the lighted area, and the farther it gets from the light, I start leaving more black space and less white areas. As you can see, when I'm erasing with the lasso tool, I will always go for a triangular form too, and I try to overlap some of those on top of the other. Once I got the light done, I will use a brush to start drawing the casted shadows of the strands of the hair. I try to avoid drawing the entire strand of the hair. Drawing hair to make them look natural takes practice, so please do not get overwhelmed if at first doesn't look quite right. With time, the lines will start to flow and look much better. It's about practicing and trying to see the flaws we have in order to improve. I hope you find this video useful. That being said, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you on another video. Bye.